Canine Detection Collaborative, a detection dog training trio with Stacy Barnett.
Hi.
Robin Grubel.
Hey there.
And Crystal Wing.
What's up?
With humor and a big dose of theory, our trio talks practical training advice and features interviews with top trainers and scientists. It's Canine Detection Collaborative.
Hi, everyone. This is Stacy Barnett from Canine Detection Collaborative. I'm here with one of my co-hosts, Crystal Wing.
Hello, friends.
And we're missing Robin because she's convalescing right now. But we have a really, really awesome guest that we're gonna be meeting with. Hello, Julia Sirois. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're really good. So, Julia,
I can just call you Robin Jr.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
or Robin right hand. I don't know.
Exactly. So when you've all heard of Julia, we've mentioned Julia before. Julia is the most incredible intern / everything else. And Robin's right hand and everything. And has a really cool background with conservation. So conservation, working with turtles and all kinds of good stuff. So we're going to kind of dig into a lot of different pieces and get to know Julia. And I can guarantee you that this is going to be a really entertaining episode because
it's Julia.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Because literally we were cracking up and Crystal saying, hit record. But you guys are going to miss that story because, it's already been told. So I'm really, we may circle back to it just for funsies, but Julia, welcome. So happy to have you.
Thank you guys for having me.
Are you getting any sleep right now? Because you're raising a whole batch of puppies.
I am. I'm training them to sleep at night. We've already started
training them to sleep.
We've started training. They turned 4 weeks old Tuesday, kicked Flair out. She's gone.
Really?
And that stemmed from Monday night. The puppies had been sleeping overnight pretty good. And Monday night at 4 a.m., there's an absolute riot going on. So I get up and I go over and Flair is laying right in front of their pen. Out of anywhere she could lay and sleep, she's right in front of their pen. So they're all freaking out. Like, hey, that's mom.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, now you get to go in and give them a snack. And she wasn't too stoked about that. And then Tuesday morning, I texted Robin. I'm like, it's time. Flair is done. I'm done. She's out of here.
They've got teeth.
Yes. And they do. And it hurts. I am a chew toy.
And these are Labrador puppies, by the way. They're not even Malinois.
Yeah, they don't know that. Though.
Can be very, very, very sharp.
Well, and you're raising them like little Malinois puppies, really.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm trying not to play suicidal rabbit with them, but that's the only way they can see the toys right now. Is if I'm bop in the head. And they're pretty funny. Like today, a couple of them were actually picking up some of the smaller toys and frolicking around and tripping over themselves. It was precious.
That's really
How many puppies are you raising right now?
9.
9.
Ooh. 9.
Has Robin even had a chance to see them yet? Like in person?
Yeah, she made her way down the stairs Tuesday and we ran them through the EIC test. So we swabbed all the puppies and she got to snuggle everyone while we were doing that.
How convenient that she waits until they can start snuggling before she comes down.
Or it could have been, you could have gotten her into the gator and drove her around the back.
Yes, we know it works.
I know it works because that's what Crystal did for me when I sprained my ankle.
Poor
and
Stacy.
I needed to take a shower.
Yes. Yeah.
So I happen to know that is actually, it does work. So,
and I'm here giving Robin a hard time, but she just had knee replacement surgery.
I know, right?
And so it is brutal. I got to see it and oh my, it is so, I'll say pretty. I think she would say that's a word for it.
Oh, no. Yeah.
It's just in time for Halloween kind of thing,
Ooh, right.
Ugh. So I'm glad she got to see her puppies. That's good, at least.
Yes. No, it was great because they're all to the point where people are the best thing ever. So anytime you walk by, there's a whole flood of puppies following you from inside their pen. So they all came right to the door when Robin sat down on the couch, and then she could just kind of grab them and give them kisses. It was cute. Made me happy to see.
All right, tell me a puppy story. I need a puppy story now.
Well, you just told us a kitten story off air.
How chaotic do you want the puppy story to be? Because
I mean, I have Malinois, so come on. I like chaos.
So the puppies today, I have beef with them. Because starting at the end of last week, I gave them like a pie tin with water so they can learn how to lap up water. And we're now to the point where they have a little bucket and it is carabinered to the side so they can't tip it, which was what Robin told me they couldn't do. and I walked in.
I wish you guys could see Julia. The face she just gave. It was so great.
I walked in from doing chores and the bucket was not only tipped, so there was water everywhere, but one of the puppies managed to poop into the water bucket.
No.
I don't know how, because it's tall, like the bucket's tall enough that they can get their little heads into it to take a drink, but they can't, like, I don't know who got their butt up that high. I don't want to know.
Oh, but you know what? All the future puppy families are like, I wonder if that one's mine.
Yeah. And we'll never know. And even if I did know, I wouldn't tell you.
Right, exactly.
And speaking of puppies, you get one of them, right?
Yes.
Ooh.
And I'm excited. I'm very excited, especially because like I'm seeing something that a lot of future owners don't get to see. And I'm getting to see the progression of all of these little rugrats. I've watched them go from a little potato and now they're big. They're quite big.
Cool. That is cool.
I was worrying that I was feeding them too much now that they're on puppy mush and stuff. But I realized that they're gaining weight and that's what we need.
Yeah.
And then after 8 weeks, their weight it's in the hands of someone else. So I hand them a beefy puppy. And I say, it's your role from here.
Well, and knowing from the last litter, they already kind of looked like little Shar-Pei bloodhounds. And so it took quite a while. But oh my gosh, Blair and Dash make beautiful puppies.
Beautiful puppies.
Yes. Getting to follow that last litter has just been so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why I must have slipped and said Flash on accident.
Yeah. These guys, I'm starting to distinguish them just from their faces. I don't really need to see their collars anymore. But the significantly biggest puppy is the black collar male puppy. His name is Petrie. We did a dinosaur theme, so we have some Land Before Time names going on.
I still think whoever gets Raptor is in trouble.
Raptor is my favorite right now.
You got to watch having a dog named Powder that's short for gunpowder, I can guarantee you.
Yeah. She's definitely a little agent of chaos right out the gate. But most of the puppies are like, I'm like, oh, like there are a couple really sleepy puppies. And then this week was like they hit 4 weeks and they were like, I hope you're buckled up because
so awesome.
We're here. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
So let's get into.
Well, what are you going to do with your future puppy?
I'd like to title her doing some duck dog stuff. And then potentially I'm going to kind of approach training her the way Robin is with Flash of, we're doing duck dog stuff, but we also have detection work in a very specific context. So eventually that can morph into something like I would love to have a search and rescue dog. You guys have all inspired me.
I'm sorry. I mean, yay.
Yeah, no, it's like there are certain things that I don't need a search and rescue dog for. But I think overall, especially I plan to come back out here and hang out with you guys and torture you guys a lot. So it would be nice to have a dog that can run the same problems that everyone else is. Whereas my dog is sitting here without a turtle in sight. Fine. So
I want to hear about the turtles.
Yes.
Tell us about, because you knew, like when you first started and kind of got and met Robin and everything, you had already had significant experience.
Like, how did you even get your interest in knowing that turtle conservation is a thing?
It all started with the course catalog for my college going into my freshman year.
Wow, freshman year.
Yeah, I didn't know what I wanted to study or anything of the sort. Like, I grew up wanting to be a vet and then realized I would be too sad doing that.
Same.
And then I decided, okay, I can work with wildlife, or I can, try to do something sciencey because I do love science. And I was scrolling through the course catalog and I see Biology of Dogs 101. And I'm like, oh, yep, sign me up for that. Click.
Yeah.
And that was the only course that I cared about my first semester.
So cool. That's so cool.
And I showed up, and the professor was Dr. Chris Hoffman. And she kind of went on about how much she loves dogs and working with dogs, and then how she has decided that she can tie it in with conservation work. She's a herpetologist, which has nothing to do with herpes. Some people get caught up on the name. It's reptiles and amphibians. Okay, let's lay that out there, Bear.
Yeah.
And so she had a 9-month-old fox red Labrador retriever who was being trained to find toads.
Toads?
Yes, spadefoot toads. There was a project in Cape Cod where they were having children in classrooms raise eggs and tadpoles, and then they were releasing the toads once they were morphed back into this site, but then they couldn't find adults. So they were kind of like, what if we can have a dog find these, because people are having trouble. They're also nocturnal, so they burrow and then they come out at night. So it makes it really easy, or really hard,
right,
to detect. So I immediately was like, hey, I'm really interested in that, and I would love to watch your dog train. And he had a handler already who was a sophomore at the time. Her name is Hannah Duffy, and she was helping train him for that. And then I kind of volunteered my time to go and hide birch oil for him to find, or hide the toads in little mason jars all over the place for him to find.
So birch oil and toads?
Yeah,
so my ears pricked up when you said birch oil and toads.
Yeah, so birch was his training odor.
Color me confused.
Yes, that was Newt's training odor before they had live specimens to be using.
That's cool. That's super cool.
So he started using his nose right when Chris got him, when he was like 7 weeks old. It was, here's some birch. We're loving our nose. We're loving tennis balls. This is your goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did a lot of the background stuff for my freshman and sophomore year. And then Newt went out to Cape Cod to do that project. And come to find out, right around the time that he went out there, the researchers realized that they could take their headlamps and move it down a little bit. So it was in eye line, and you hit the toad's eye shine way further of a distance than Newt's detectability radius or whatever. So they suddenly were like, hey, toads everywhere.
So they didn't need Newt? Is that kind of...
Yeah, that, and because there were actually so many and the people were finding them so frequently, it was almost like there was so much odor that it became really, really hard for Newt to work through and find toads, because they were expecting there to not be a whole lot.
Wow.
So then Hannah kind of was like, all right, I'm going to focus more on my pre-vet stuff. And then I was up to bat for handling Newt at the start of my junior year. And I picked turtles to switch him to, because we were like, yeah, toads, all done.
Yeah, right. There's plenty of those. We don't need any more of those. We're all good with the toads.
I started training Newt using wood turtles, which are a species of conservation need along the east coast of the U.S. And there are some populations in Michigan, Wisconsin. And I found out this summer there's one randomly in Iowa. I don't know the specifics, but I was really interested. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, I seem to remember this one.
Yeah. And yeah, it was weird, but I'm like, okay, sure. So I started training Newt to find turtles, and it was quite the journey to go from I was playing with Newt a lot, taking him for walks, and then suddenly being responsible for actually quote unquote, controlling him, managing him. Because he's a chaotic dude. He's a crazy dude. He loves to sniff. He loves to do his job. And he loves his tennis ball. So I was like, as long as I had the ball, I knew I had some leverage over this dog. And it was so much fun to learn his body language, keep training. And then in the early spring, we kind of heard of this project in Rhode Island that they were looking for wood turtles, and they weren't having a whole lot of luck. One of the statistics in the article was that they had found, like, I want to say 19 turtles over the course of 70 surveys.
Wow.
And how big are surveys?
It's usually a kilometer down a stream, and then you cross the stream and do a kilometer back.
Okay.
But then they do, in the fall, they do upland surveys. So they go further away from the stream, because these turtles spend a lot of time on land compared to your painted turtles or other pond turtles. They travel quite a distance from their streams or rivers to lay eggs. So they go and they do the surveys along the stream in the spring and early summer. And then once it's nesting season, they'll pop out into the woods more and do surveys. And it's just a visual encounter survey. So you walk, and if you see a turtle, awesome, you process it.
So when you say process, does that mean you just write it down? Like, is there some way of marking it, or?
Yeah. So we take the turtle, we would record the sex of the turtle, the age of the turtle, which you can count almost like a tree has rings, and that's how you guess the age. On their plastron, which is the underside of their shell, you can actually count rings and get a rough estimate. The lines start to get too blurry after they hit 20. So I was processing turtles that were older than I am. And I was like, wow.
What's their lifespan? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Because these aren't turtles anybody can have. Like, no one's allowed to keep them as pets or anything, right?
No.
Okay.
In states where they aren't protected or aren't regulated, like if someone were to have captive ones in the South or somewhere else, like I think there's not a whole lot of protection in that sense.
Gotcha.
But this species specifically is up for reevaluation to be put on like the red list, so the endangered list.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sorry, Obi, give me that toy.
This is the perils of doing this around dogs,
Well, he's picked tonight. Tonight he has decided that every squeaky toy is necessary, and I haven't seen him pick up a stuffed toy in weeks. So that's just him knowing that I'm doing something.
Yeah. He's like, you're talking to somebody. It should be me.
Yeah, he's like, hey, wouldn't you love if I were also involved?
That's right. I keep seeing the yellow tail flip around.
know.
I'm like,
and that tail is like a little whip. That hurts.
Yeah.
So when you started with turtles, I am curious, does he find all turtles or just that specific turtle?
So he is a species-specific dog. So Newt was trained to find wood turtles. When we entered Rhode Island, we started the project and quickly started finding turtles. And then we also came across some eastern box turtles, and that is another species that needs conservation attention. So, and this is a fun story, so I will tell this one.
Oh, good. Yay.
I took Newt. I got a text message from my field partner because it was Newt and I's day off, and he was out doing box turtle surveys with another biologist. And he texted me, he's like, we found one if you want to imprint Newt. I'm like, yes, I would love to. So Newt and I hop in the car and we head over to the site, and we get there and I'm handed this little tiny box turtle. And so we start sending Newt in, and he's like, hey, I get it. Because we get to the site and immediately we start imprinting the dog on the turtle. And then I had my field partner kind of start hiding it in different areas. I'm like, let's just see what he can do, because I was expecting him to start generalizing pretty quickly. It is still a turtle.
Right.
Yeah.
So he knows like the specific odor of that species. But I think my thought process was there should be similarity enough that he can quickly be like, ooh, I get it.
Right.
And he proved just that. My field partner went and hid the turtle, and I send him, and all of a sudden he's laying down, and I'm like, awesome, he found it. And then I start walking up, and I look, and I'm like, the turtle was orange when we put it down. This one's yellow. And then these box turtles have, so they have black on the top of their shell.
Okay.
And they have like different colored little markings. So they're really, really pretty turtles, which is also kind of why they're endangered or declining, because the pet trade, people are like, ooh, pretty turtle.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I walk up and I'm like, that's just simply not the turtle we had. So Newt was like, yeah, I'm kind of bored with this game. Let me show you a different one, because there is another one here. And I mean, my field partner and I were jumping up and down, and actually Bobby was out with us. And he was like, what am I supposed to do? Bobby's my boyfriend, who is born and raised in Manhattan, New York.
I'm so glad he came up
and gets dragged out in the woods with me. And he loves it. Like, he's getting really good. He has field pants and, he's falling into outdoorsy.
You're taking him from the office into the woods.
Yes. Yeah. But he's like, okay, what do you guys need? Yeah. Here's the dog and the ball. Go play fetch, because that's awesome. And now we need to figure out how to process this turtle, because we weren't expecting to have a new one in front of us.
That's awesome. Now, was this the same turtle you've been looking for, or this was the new one?
This was the new species.
Wow. Okay.
So same day we were starting him on it, he went and found a new individual for us. And we were like, okay,
so now he's got
awesome.
2 species that he's finding.
Yes. Which is really nice, especially when you're working with a species that's not common. That's more of a chance for him to be successful. Gotcha. When we're on a wood turtle specific survey, if he finds a box turtle, because they're also needing data collected, we just get to process the turtle. He gets to play fetch. So it's like a win-win for everyone.
Nice.
Now, do you have to worry that he's going to find every turtle out there, or is that not a bad thing anyway?
Not really. So those 2 species are both semi-aquatic, so they're spending a lot more time on land.
Okay. I'm picturing like snapping turtle, like you don't want him.
No.
So,
and if he did kind of approach a snapping turtle, then we would call him off.
Okay.
So that's when your recall and emergency downs and that kind of stuff comes into play, because that is really important for conservation dogs to have a hold on those kind of cues. Because I mean, we've had fawns take off, we've had small game birds. Like, you're in the woods, and our surveys are typically off leash when we're doing turtle stuff, because he can cover so much more ground.
I was just like picturing him, like in my head, I'm like, do you proof off of other turtles? And I guess the answer is
yes, we can.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Yeah. So when we were doing, like, I guess the equivalent of like an ORT, we would have like lizard swabs, snake swabs, other turtle swabs. So there would be a whole lineup. And then we would have the target odor as well.
Wow.
But you can't actually have the turtle. Like, you had to just have samples of like things that smelled like it.
Yeah. So we did have access to 2 captive wood turtles that belonged to a professor at an adjacent college in the next town over. So we were able to borrow those ones and use those but we had to be careful, because you can't go and put captive turtles in an area where there are wild populations. So if we were doing
disease,
disease transfer, stuff like that. So if we were doing work where it was more about the environmentals, swabs become really important.
Gotcha.
But if we're working in, one of the soccer fields or inside, we can use the live turtles. But that's one thing that makes it difficult to be doing stuff with a live specimen, because of the fact that, like Obi and I come out to Iowa, we're now using birch for his training odor.
Right.
Because we don't have access, and the biological odors aren't going to hold up for travel. Like, we keep samples frozen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they don't last for for very long. We're still trying to figure out what exactly.
So you can't just like go buy turtle odor from a manufacturer.
Yeah, no, that would be me contacting zoos and hoping that they could swab and mail out, or during field season, collecting swabs and having them in the freezer for days off, or if the dogs are having trouble.
And trusting someone else to be good odor hygiene.
Yes, yeah, wearing gloves, all that stuff. Yeah, it becomes really difficult. Especially, again, jumping back to that, these aren't common species. So if we're out and we're doing a really long survey, like the dogs are putting in a lot of nose time during these surveys. And
what does a lot of nose time mean to you?
Okay, so I cue the dog to start searching at the beginning of our survey. And I mean, they're working, and sometimes they might kind of flake off and need to be told to go again. But for the most part, it would take about an hour and a half to do that kilometer. So the dog's searching. Yeah. We're hoping for the majority of the time, depending on the environment or the terrain or weather, the dog's stamina of the day. Like we'll take breaks and we can cue the dog to stop, and we might play fetch or have a water break or something. But for the most part, like it's a long day. It can easily be, and especially if we're finding turtles, processing times are like 30, 40 minutes, depending on how quickly and effectively we can get through those sheets of data. But yeah, like the dogs are working hard, and they're working for like 4 hours, and we do a 3 days on, 1 day off rotation. So it very quickly becomes tiring. So like having swabs in my backpack, that if we're on a survey where we're not finding turtles or the weather sucks or, stuff like that kind of drags down the dog's performance, I can hide a swab.
Yeah. Keep their motivation up.
Yeah. That stuff is some of the most important things that I'm considering every time I'm going out, because so I had that project, and then obviously I got Obi. And Obi was trained on turtles his whole puppyhood. And then we kind of chose to come out to Iowa instead of doing a field season. So he stopped doing detection work for the summer. And then when I went back to the East Coast this fall, we were asked to do a week-long survey out in Connecticut. So I quickly had gone up to...
And how'd you get that gig?
My professor, Dr. Hoffman. So yeah, she had been in contact with they're an environmental consulting group, and they do surveys, and they were kind of like, hey, we have funding. We would love to have a dog team. So Newt, Obi, and I went and we did surveys for the week, and those were really long days. Like we were in the woods all day long. It wasn't just like a kilometer there and back. So usually a day would be like 4 hours. Like we were looking at like 8 hours.
So would you do like 4 hours with one dog, 4 with the other, or like how?
Yeah. So because Obi hadn't been tried in the field, I wasn't going to put a whole lot of pressure on him.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
But he worked his butt off. Like he was awesome.
He's an incredible dog.
Yeah. He worked really, really hard. And it was to the point where if I tried to leash him or just cue Newt, and they both have a search cue, which was difficult in that situation. But like if I clipped Obi onto the leash and then kind of directed Newt more, Obi hears search and he's trying to amp up. Like he wants to go.
Oh gosh, I can't even imagine trying to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it became, okay, you know what? If Obi wants to work, he can do his thing. And we have cues for like in here to send them into like different vegetation or areas that we want checked more like thoroughly, I guess. So I would direct dogs where I needed them to go. And I'm like, if Obi's just kind of searching and he's funny. So over the summer, because turtles are on the ground, he does not have an elevated search image.
I was hoping you'd tell this story.
And there was one day that it was your hides out, Stacy.
The essential oil. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
On the hay bales. Oh, yes.
Yes. On the hay bale.
Oh, wait. Actually, I think Crystal set those.
Oh, yes. Because you wanted to do blinds. And it was for Powder's like long searches. Yes.
Right.
That's right. Yeah. So I I send Obi out, and he typically is nose to the ground, like, let me find it. And once he found that, and I had to help him out a little bit. Like, I started on the back side of the bale and kind of was touching the side so he would start to get his nose up. That triggered something in this dog, and he loves already to be off the ground.
Oh,
like it's a problem, and I know you have that with Powder.
Oh, I do. She loved hay bale hopping. That was like her favorite thing.
So, and it's a yellow dog thing. I'm convinced. But yeah, so after that, Obi was like, I love things to find off the ground. And I saw that during this turtle survey because...
Oh, flying turtles. Just,
Yeah, I watch him sniff, 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 sniff. There's a tree with a Y that's probably right around my shoulder height. And I'm 5'4". So, and all of a sudden, Obi's sniff, 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 jumps up. He's in the Y of the tree. And I see his head's popping, and then he jumps down and keeps going. And I'm standing there, and the woman who hired us to come out and do these surveys.
For those tree turtles, they're very rare. They're endangered. They're highly, highly endangered tree turtles.
I'm like, yeah, they like to climb. And it may or may not be because raccoons are eating them.
He's looking for raccoon scat.
Yeah. But I mean, I just kind of stopped walking. I was like, what did I just see my dog do?
Well, he's air scenting. And that gets me to a question because, I'm sitting here going, I wonder how turtle odor presents. Like, when I think about like essential oil, it's very big and lofty. And yeah, he might want to go into a tree to catch odor and then work it down to the ground. But for birch, I mean, I don't know about turtle odor. Like, does it stay more?
Depends on if they're farting or not, Stacy.
Stop making fun of me. I'm like serious. This is a serious question, Crystal. Very, very serious.
I just don't see it as being as volatile as essential oils.
Yeah, I think it's like a heavier odor.
It's a heavier. Okay. Thank you for bringing us back down to something serious here, Julia, because Crystal's going off the rails here.
I can't help it. Julia and I joke all summer. Like,
yeah. No, I do miss like throwing one-liners around me.
So it tends to settle. It's a little heavier.
Yeah. If I know my dog, and I think I do, he just wanted to be off the ground.
He just wanted to go.
He saw an opportunity and he took it. This is the same dog that if you're walking him on a street and there's like a brick wall or something, he has to jump and walk the length of the brick wall and then come down. And I really don't know where he got that from, but it's been since he was little. And the hay bale thing really just was kind of opened a whole new door for him. He was like, oh, I can do this while working.
This is great. So cool. This is so cool, Mom.
I like to hear the differences because, with turtle detection, they don't need to be in trees. They don't need to be up necessarily. So that would be a difference between like SAR and nose work. And then the amount of working time. So it's longer than nose work. It's about par with SAR. Do you know or can think of any other, now that you've been around for so long, around all of us crazies all summer, and what are the other similarities or differences, do you think? And there's a trained final response, right?
Yes. Yeah. So Obi has a down, and as does Newt. And the goal with that was if you're sitting, there's, your radius of accuracy of where is the turtle, where we taught the dogs, you lay down and the turtle's between your front paws. Oh, there it is right there.
Luckily, they don't go very fast, right?
Yes. Yeah. They're not fast on land.
And they don't indicate snapping turtles, right?
Yeah. No. Nothing dangerous. Like, I mean, these turtles could try to bite them, but their mouths are so small that the dog would probably be like, why? Like, what was that?
You're cute.
Yeah.
Rawr.
I think the biggest difference is just like, kind of like the different search images. So obviously ours are more focused on being outside, like coming here this summer and doing searches in the Quonset and in Joe's shop. Like that was a bit of a challenge for Obi because we're confined and Odor is going to be doing all kinds of crazy things, especially in the Quonset. Whereas like his biggest hindrance is going to be low veg or medium height veg that he needs to work through. So it's a lot different of an image and context. I think there were a couple instances where I was having him search in buildings and he was kind of like, why? It was almost like, what do you mean?
It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'll play the game, but I don't get it. And that was where like also giving him elevated problems and problems that were different than just turtles are on the ground.
Right. So I have a burning question because it's just like, how do you not trigger prey drive though? Because you're talking as an animal, right?
Yes. Yeah. So the biggest thing with the turtles is not pawing them. And that we've seen that with like a frustration response of it's right here.
Yeah.
Or getting too excited. Like if your arousal's not right, very quickly it turns into I'm going to pounce on the thing.
Because I'd be like thinking like they find it now they're like now it's mine, I'm going to eat it. I mean clearly that would be very 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 bad. So
yeah, no. So we start with like they typically are starting with a swab. So we do like pretty much like what you guys would do with like a brick wall, except in our little dog lab we have what we call a scent box. So it's just a box with 4 holes to stick mason jars.
Gotcha.
And that's pretty much how we start them. So it's just, And then once the turtle is introduced, it's literally nose on and you get out of there. And the ball is so valued that the turtle is like, yeah, I found it, but you have what I want.
Got it. So the turtle at that point is like, no big deal. Because I mean, I guess it's not going to really trigger chase as much.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you we're going to go find some endangered rabbits. I mean, I could see that maybe being a little, not that any rabbits are endangered, but I could see that as being like a real issue.
Yeah. So actually, funny you should say rabbits aren't endangered, Stacy. Because
are they?
Some who are.
Are they really? See,
yeah.
Obviously, I don't know what I'm talking
New England cottontails.
Really?
But those. So there's actually a team. They're the New York, New Jersey Trail Conference.
Oh my gosh, I know they're right by
Arden. Yeah. So Arden is kind of in charge of that. And they just started a project. Really? I saw one of their little videos. They're doing the scat of the rabbits.
Wow. Yeah, because you don't want to actually get because the rabbit itself.
Right. And so, that kind of turns into, I mean, there are dogs that find big cat scat and stuff like that. So it just kind of, why do you have
what'll be bringing you this time?
Lotion. He just handed me a bottle of lotion.
It is winter. He's very kind.
He's a retriever.
That's the one thing I was watching. He's, I guess, a well-known turtle guy. I don't know his name, though. And he goes all over the place. And he was here at the St. Louis area a couple of years ago, helping with the St. Louis Zoo. And he has his
Does
Boykins.
He have the Boykins? Yeah.
Yeah. And he has them retrieve.
I have some opinions. Yeah. No, I don't like that. I don't like
so I was curious, because I watched several of those and I'm like, I just don't know. It just seemed like you're taking such a risk.
Yeah. I don't want to be a hater, but I am not a fan of that for multiple reasons. Seen some videos where the dogs start to like really covet those turtles. So then there are multiple dogs and they just let like a pack of Boykins.
Oh God. I mean, that could, because it could also relocate them from something important they're doing.
Like you don't know if they're breeding. You lose all of that specific habitat data.
Right.
I'm not a fan of that. And again, like I've seen the dogs like playing with the turtles, like trying to get them from each other.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a fan of that at all.
It was surprising. That's why I was really curious, because I know that you don't have a problem with voicing your opinion, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. I've had some chats about that specifically.
Oh my gosh.
Because people have been like, oh, like, do your dogs like pick up the no.
I could see
part of the criteria is you do not touch the turtle.
Yeah, I was so surprised watching those.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe be like kind of like an HR dog saying, "Here's your body."
Yeah, you don't want a dog bringing you an arm. Like that's just
it's wrong. It's wrong.
Yeah, Yukon. I mean, yeah.
Oh my God.
We're taking off with it either way. Either way,
Seriously.
Don't touch it.
But we do need to consider prey drive, because we need like those emergency downs and stuff and stops because there's a lot of wildlife in the woods.
So when you're thinking about qualities then of your detection dogs you want to use in the field, are you looking for the same kind of dogs we would want in search and rescue or nose work, or like what qualities do you look for?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, obviously my experience is working with Newt and then with Obi. So I only have experience with 2 dogs in that working capacity. But I mean, like handler attentiveness is something that I really like and I really love with Obi, is that he ranges beautifully, he searches beautifully, but he checks in. And if I give him a cue, if he's taking off too far or I need him to stop, there's that much of a relationship and that much reinforcement through those cues that he's like, got it, mom. Like I'm stopped. And I think that that's really, really important when working in an environment like the woods. Like if you were out doing SAR work, and it's vital to kind of be reeled in enough that your dog's not going to take off after a deer or something like that. Like it's kind of the same, like Rad beautifully during the mock test I set up for you, Crystal, like when those deer were like, hey, we're going to run back and forth and taunt your dog. And she was like, okay. It's the same thing. Like we want the drive and we want like, yeah, a lot of motivators. Having the ball and fetch becomes a good reinforcer as opposed to tug, which is common with SAR from what I've seen this summer.
Yeah. More for FEMA. Yeah.
Yeah. For FEMA. Yeah. Because I mean, it's not like we're at a crime scene and we need to be tame. Like dog finds a turtle. It's a huge party. We're partying. We don't have to be like, so I think we could have a little more chaos in that sense.
Yeah. There's no sad families watching. Yeah.
Yeah. We're not like, oh, by the way.
So it's a really serious job, but it's not a death job.
Yes. Yeah.
Ugh.
It's not like we're doing anything heartbreaking.
Right.
It's like I'm out in the woods with my best buddy and we're playing with wild animals. And
what about the size of the dog? Would this be good for smaller dogs, even like terrier size? Like, could they get through the brush? And because I guess partly too, I'm imagining you're also out there like stomping through thick mud. Am I imagining that wrong?
Yes. So we definitely encounter mud. One thing that both Newt and Obi have I'm going to say fatal flaw, like the lack of self-preservation is something that drives me bonkers. Okay. Like when we were doing the week-long survey, I had Obi, he was searching through a lot of like thorns and I kept trying to call him out and send him into different areas. And there was one point that he came running up to me and it was our last day of surveying and his whole face was just bloody.
Oh,
like all kinds of little cuts. And I'm like, and he's wagging his tail and happy. Wow. And I'm like, dude.
Do you use like rec specs or anything or?
Yes. So he does wear rec specs. And it's funny because a lot of people think that they're for swimming.
Goggles.
Yeah. They're like, oh, the dog that wears swimming goggles to find turtles. No.
I never thought people would think that. That's
I
so
never
funny.
did either. That's the best.
They're like, does he use those to see the turtles? No. No, he's not.
Because he's diving underwater.
He's not snorkeling.
Oh my gosh.
You just made my day.
I'm picturing him. Does he get to wear flippers? Like little flippers in the back?
Yeah, seriously. Like he has like a wetsuit and his snorkel. Yeah. Well, and to build off of that, with media being goofy, when Newt and I were in Rhode Island, we ended up getting national attention and we had multiple TV interviews and I got a call from my mom. And again, this story first went out in Rhode Island.
I believe that's a big Obi that's in your lap. Is that?
Yes, this is 76 pounds of mush.
He says, enough talking to people. Talk to me.
Buddy, go. Take this and go away.
Now he's going to get the squeaky.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll put you outside. Anyway. So my mom called me, and I'm from Maine, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, I just saw a preview for a news story, and I think it's you and Newt." And I'm like, "Oh, so this went to Maine, whatever." She ends up sending me a screen recording, and the headline that they put on this:
Oh no.
"Dog helps turtles cross road."
No. No.
Ah, that's great.
I'm like, what? I'm like, I
That's
didn't know
so
we were
great.
crossing guards.
Wow.
And
Wow.
it's just like, we're trying to like get it out there and be fun, like dogs, and we're finding turtles. We're helping the dogs helping the turtles cross the road. And I'm like, oh,
Wow.
that's
What's
cool.
next, chickens?
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't know we were doing that, but that's awesome.
Oh,
That's really funny. That's
you
really
Yeah.
had no idea how talented y'all were.
Yeah, I know. I was like, wow. Yeah, we know the spots, and
that's crazy.
So when it comes to the public interest, do you feel like getting the dogs involved in the conservation piece, does that help with some public interest and helping the cause?
I think it does. Because
I
one,
mean,
the
even though people
dogs,
think they're crossing roads, but still?
yes. I think that it really does help, because especially for younger kids to see, hey, we get to go out in the woods and we're doing this fun thing, and we have a dog and he's wearing goggles and he has a cute little outfit on, because the dogs wear like a tick suit and like a chest plate and orange during fall. Like they're all dressed up. They look very, very distinguished.
So what do you use as a tick suit?
It's like we were using like a thin, almost like an Under Armour material,
Okay.
and that got shredded very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where there's another one, it's almost like a doggy snowsuit, but the idea is you're keeping ticks from biting on to the main body of the dog.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like
yeah.
then your primary focus is checking neck and head and ears and paws.
Gums.
So it helps. Like, I mean, I was pulling like 200 ticks each survey off of the dogs. So it makes a big difference when they're in these suits, because they're not all over the body and chest. And yeah.
Yeah. No, it sounds, I mean, I live in the Northeast.
All right.
Like
I want
my
some
ears
pro
picked up,
tips.
you know?
I want some pro tips. So what are the pro tips? So is it like permethrin soaked or?
No, because during turtle surveys, they're in and out of rivers. So we don't want all of those chemicals all over the place. The same thing with like the flea and tick collars. We'll take those off while they're surveying. And the dogs eat like, what is it, Bravecto or Credelio, like one of those like edible ones. So there's nothing topical that's going to get into the environment.
Gotcha.
Wow.
But yeah, so after a survey, we're checking the dogs, and that's where having like a red lab and a yellow lab comes in handy. So
yeah,
unfortunately for you, Crystal, you have a bunch of dark dogs.
Well, I know. It's so hard.
Black labs, it's like,
yeah.
I had a brown standard poodle. I mean, you want to talk about impossible?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's hard.
My best thing, because with SAR, I mean, it's kind of, and we're here in Missouri, so I don't know if people realize how many ticks are here too. I mean, it's not like Connecticut and Rhode Island and
New Jersey, trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's intense. I remember the one time I got into a seed tick thing, and after I counted 300 on my one leg, and I just quit counting. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the best thing I found is to use the dryer, the forced air dryer, and I take that and I go back and forth across the dog, because it's going to blow any loose ticks off, and then I can actually see their skin as I'm going back and forth.
Okay.
So I didn't know if you had the pro tips and things like that's more of like after we're getting out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, my kind of protocol was one, having the suit or having some kind of, even just like a vest does make a big difference.
Okay.
So one of the like a hunting dog, like zip up, it's close to the chest.
Yeah.
And then you're checking legs and armpits and head and neck kind of stuff. But yeah, I usually will check right after survey, like gear comes off, dogs checked for ticks, and we pull off as many. And then they have a habit of just manifesting, like appearing. So then you get home, we check again. And then before bed, check a third time. And so it's really good that I'm not squeamish about ticks.
Yeah.
Like I hate bugs, but ticks, I'm like, die. Like put them in bottles. Like I had like a collection of bottles. I'm like, if anyone needs needs a collection of ticks for some kind of like biome study or whatever, like
here you go.
Come to me because.
So how did you get from finding turtles and tick-fested to landing at Robin's farm?
I would, one, credit my professor because she texted me one day and said, I got you a ticket to this webinar. I think you would love it. And it was Robin's teenage detection dog webinar. So last spring, and I'm watching this webinar, and Bobby is out at the bar or whatever with his friends. So I'm just sitting in bed, and it's 8:00 on like a Friday night or something. And I'm watching this webinar, and Robin puts up a picture where it's literally a dumpster fire. And she goes, "This is how training is sometimes." And I'm like, she's my kind of person. And then like what really sealed it was her describing puppy brains as a bunch of gerbils. And you go into training, you don't know which gerbil you have. And so I remember like I chatted into the webinar. I'm like, "Do you take interns?"
Oh, that's how it started.
Yes. And she had responded during the Q&A of, yeah, like shoot me an email. And so I remember I got off the webinar. I had already written up the email, sent that off. And Bobby comes into the dorm room and I'm like, "Bobby, dumpster fire and gerbils." And he's like, "What?" And I had this whole notepad. I had notes. I had pages of notes that I took during this webinar. I'm like, "Sit down. When we're playing with Obi, sometimes maybe he just wants to have the ball. Like, we don't need to take it away." Or ask for it back. He'll give it to us when he wants. And yeah, so Bobby and I went through the whole thing. I reached out to Robin and she was like, "Sure, come on out." And so all of a sudden, my dog and I are packed up in the car and driving 22 hours across the country, which we did we did the leg from Maine to New York, and we stayed at Bobby's house overnight. And then we drove the 18 and a half hours left straight through. Like, I was like, I need to just get there because
I couldn't believe you did that.
Yeah. And I did it on the way home too. Same thing, driving from Iowa to New York. I didn't want to stop. I'm like, if I stop and then I'm going to wake up the next morning and be like, "Oh, I don't want to drive again." So once I hit like Chicago area, I was like, almost like a driver's high. Like you get your runner's high. I'm like, I can do it.
Yeah.
And then the last hour and a half, it's midnight, 1:00 in the morning, and it's downpouring a little north of Des Moines. And I'm like, I just drove all this way. I'm going to die right here. Like, I'm not even going to make it. My like tiny little car. And I'm just like, I'm not going to make it. I remember pulling into the farm and we get out of the car and it's just like the drive was like one big mud puddle. And Obi's like, "I like it here."
Yeah, I'm at home.
Yeah.
So what would you say out of like the time because you spent a lot of time with Robin, and what is probably the most impactful thing you've learned?
That sometimes like training, like shorter sessions are sometimes more impactful as far as training goes. Like it absolutely blew my mind. One thing that I had been doing with Obi and with Newt was just reps of things. And like, yes, reps are important, but to come here and see, hey, we set out this like source, the SAR dogs are going and running it and they're doing one run. They found it. They're put up. And I'm like, you're not going to send them to do it again? Why would we? They just did it perfectly. They just did what we wanted them to do. And I was like, oh. They're like, yeah, we're not going to like water down the lesson here.
Yeah.
By sending them in again and again. Like they searched beautifully. They found it. They gave their TFR. We're done.
Yep.
And I was like, it was like, whoa. And that was right at the beginning. And that was when I had met Alyssa and was scared of her. Because she was the one that was like, why would I have my dog do that again? And I was like, oh.
Didn't you say I was mean to you or something?
Yeah, I was kind of scared of you too, but in a different way because everyone was hyping you up. I was so excited to meet you.
Which is so funny. Like that cracks me up.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, like you want help with play and stuff? Like Crystal's going to be here soon. Crystal's the go-to. Crystal's amazing. And I'm like, I'm so excited. And so then you had gotten there and I walked up to you and I was like, can you help me with play? And you go, I don't know what that is. And left. Like, you're like, not my thing.
Oh my.
And you just walked away.
Hear more about that later, that's for sure.
Which I'm so sarcastic. Like,
Yeah. And I didn't know that yet. I was like, oh, okay. It was during the, what seminar was that? I think it was the Setting Hides seminar.
Oh, that was so good.
And that was a really fun seminar. And I remember like later on, we were sitting inside and you were like, I'm going to send you a Facebook friend request. And I was like trying not to like in my seat. I'm like, oh, she doesn't hate me.
I'm always like, will you be my friend, please?
And then you were like, you don't have to accept it. And I was like, do I accept it or not? Like, am I allowed to? Are you just doing what you have to do? Like,
oh my gosh, that's so funny.
So funny.
But you've
So
taught me
funny.
a lot though. Like I've learned so much from you. It's been such a great summer and a great friendship. And I appreciate you so much. So I just have to put that out there. You're so funny. Oh my gosh. We had a lot of good times for sure.
Yes. It was always a contest of who could have the best one-liner.
Of a lot of the silly things that have happened since you've been there, are there any like silly things or heartwarming things? Just it can be farm life, dog life. What jumps out in your head?
I have two short ones, and they both involve burying source, putting source in a hole.
Yeah.
Source, aka dead guy.
Yes. So I came here. I have a turtle dog, and all of a sudden, I'm hiding dead guy all over the place on my car when Stacy was having Brad do vehicle searches.
Thank you for hiding so much source on your car and everybody else's for radish.
I'm like, I can use your car, right, Julia? I can use your car.
And I'm like, yeah. And you're like, okay, here it is. Put it in your wheel well. And I'm like, okay.
Thanks.
But yeah, so one was we were setting up mock tests, and Crystal was like, yeah, my dad's here. He's standing over in the area that I'm going to have you bury a problem. I'm like, sure. So I drive over.
I remember this one. Oh my gosh.
And I jump out and I have the bucket with the source and I have a shovel. And I walk over and Crystal's dad's just like, all right, let's do this. I'm like, okay. He pulls out a Ryobi like saw, like an automatic saw, like sawing the ground. And I was like, okay, that's better than the shovel I have. Like, let's do it. So he cuts out the square, pulls it out. I throw the source in the hole, and he goes, I'm Mike, by the way. I was like, Julia. And then we start to cover the source with dirt.
Oh,
And I
that is
just like,
so my dad.
Yeah. I was like, okay, now that we're burying something together.
Nice to meet you.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
It's the timing of that, right?
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was so funny. And then the second one is Bobby came to visit, and we had planned this beforehand of as soon as we get there, hand him the bucket and the shovel, and he's going to bury something.
We had so much fun just planning all this stuff for him when he gets there.
Yeah, it was hilarious. So we go and bury that.
He needs badges.
Badges are really important around here. Very important. But yeah, so we bury it. The dogs run it the next day. And then it had poured rain. Like it was raining all day long. And then everyone was like, okay, you can go get it now. We're like, okay. So Obi comes with us. We all hop on the mule and drive out. And we're playing fetch. Yeah, we're playing fetch with Obi. And Bobby and I get the source uncovered. I grab it and put it in the bag. And here comes Obi. And he has the habit of throwing his ball at you. So he tries to do that. And all of a sudden his ball's rolling and it lands in the hole that the source is in, which also now has an inch or two of water. So it was like a soggy source. And the ball lands in the hole. And Bobby and I like look at each other, look at the hole, look back at each other. And then we just start shoving the dirt over the ball in the hole. And Obi's looking at us like, what the heck? That's my ball. Why are you doing that?
Not anymore.
And we're just like, like burying it. And then the icing on the cake was tell and message back and go, tell Bobby you guys need to wash the source now.
Oh,
And
no.
so I tell him that. I'm like, yeah, because it got so muddy and like, we're going to have to wash it. And he goes, okay.
Oh, no.
I'm like, you're fine with that? And he's like, yes. He's like, the only thing I'm not fine with is if you were to ask me to hold a chicken or collect eggs. I'm like,
of all things.
okay.
Yes.
Noted.
Bobby really, and he's the tractor guy now.
Yes. Yep. Him and Joe went on a little date and drove tractors around the farm, and he thought it was the best thing ever. He frequently asked if Joe is going to let him do it again next time he comes to visit.
Too funny.
But that's part of farm etiquette.
Yes.
It's the boys have to go do the boy things, and the girls all get together and bury dead things and search with their dogs.
Yes. Yep. Girls go play with their dogs. Boys ride tractors.
Isn't that the way the whole universe works?
Yeah. I mean, and Bobby even got to take a ride out into the hills and meet Ed, like the big bull. And he was feeding Ed corn and like petting him. And I'm just like looking at him like, you are not the same kid I met 3 years ago.
Isn't that funny? You've helped him grow.
It's so funny. He's a great guy.
I didn't get to hear about your collar making business. I want to hear about that.
Yes.
Yes. So I was sitting at home last winter and I was like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if Obi had naturey collars because he's a conservation dog? And wouldn't it be cool if I had a business that took some of the money and put it into a fund for conservation dogs? Because if you know anything about science and funding and all that stuff, it can be a pain in the butt to get. So I'm like, that would kind of help with training the dogs and deploying them and all this stuff. So
I say, go back and listen to any of our interviews with scientists. Every single one. I mean, Lauren and all of them are just like, where's the money? Help us.
Yeah.
It's like you're amazing.
Begging. So Wolves for Wildlife was born.
We'll put the link in the show notes.
Yeah.
Essentially, I, and with the help of 2 other kids that I went to school with, so Taya Moore and Raina Bidwell, we all kind of draw different collar designs. We print them on recycled canvas. And then I sew collars, and they're all 1.5 inches thick. The webbing is military grade nylon, and then the recycled canvas makes them both durable and washable. Like Obi is a big mud puddle guy, and I can take his blackened collar and just throw some Dawn on it and wash it. And then it's beautiful and colorful again.
And I can speak to that because I saw that mud boy.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo, he's a Yukon in the mud.
I will never be cooler than mud. And I've accepted that. Yeah, it's nice to kind of make new designs, and we come up with like different themes, and we have some like baseline designs that we'll always have. But then like this fall, I'm about to come out with a collar that is like a snowy sunset and has a little sled dog silhouette. I have one that has northern lights, and then one that's like a really cute light blue with snowflakes and Arctic foxes jumping. So those will all be like limited edition or just available until they're sold out. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so we kind of come up with like little themes that we can have like cool and unique collars. And then we have
like the search and rescue ones.
Yes. Yeah.
Those
like
are fun.
we do custom collars too for people who have multiple dogs or teams and whatever. Like you can send in, hey, I want a collar that looks like this. We can draw it up, make the collars, and get those sent. So then if you have your color coordinated dogs, or you have dogs that you just want the same thing on, but you want it to be unique and no one else can have it.
Because I love the set you sent out. Was that just recently to Lisa in Kansas?
Yeah.
Man, they turned out fabulous.
They were beautiful. I really liked that design. She has a lot of SAR dogs and tracking dogs. So it was like boot prints along the top and bottom. And then she calls her dogs like lucky stars. So they had a horseshoe and a star in the center, and each dog wears a different color. So I printed an orange one, a red one, a green one, a blue one. And those were, we got pictures of her dogs in the collars, and they're pretty cute. Came out great.
So I'll be getting one from you here at some point. I just can't decide what I'm going to order yet.
I just drew one for Flash. I turned Flash into Wonder Woman.
I love it. I can't wait to see that one.
Yeah, she has like the little Wonder Woman headband. It's like little drawings of Flash, and then you have like the comic book like pow, bang, flash.
Sounds
like,
awesome.
yeah. And she has a little cape, and I'm really excited to get that and make that for Flash. And I do flat collars, traditional martingales, and side release martingales. So some options for different dog needs.
I hope that people order because it's amazing quality and goes to a great cause as well.
Exactly.
Well, our time has come to an end, and I could chat all day because, well, I adore Julia and I adore Stacy. So here we are. We usually do takeaways. And so we'll let you go last, but think about whatever it is that you might want people to kind of think about as we're kind of ending. Stacy, what are your takeaways?
Oh gosh, there's so many things I could think of. But what I really love hearing more about the conservation work that you've done, and just kind of thinking, and it tickled my brain a little bit with some of the challenges that you might encounter, and the whole aspect of your having your dog find a live animal and just like indicating it and not actually doing anything. I think it's just amazing. And I love the work that you've done, and it's clear you're very good at it. But yeah, so as far as takeaways, it's just kind of thinking about how the odor might work. Anyway, it was hard to verbalize on that one, but just think about how the odor works. And anyway, you're very dedicated. I absolutely love listening to all the stories.
I think the takeaways that I want to share is that you have a passion for things. And I love that you can take that passion and you just go into it. You're like, Robin, I want an internship. Got it. And I want to do the turtle, I want to, like, I'm doing it. Like, it just seems like everything you put your mind to, you make it happen. And I know that it's about knowing the right people and making the connections. And I think that that's something that people can learn from you, is that you have to have that push and that drive and that willingness to ask others and be willing to, they can say no, that's fine. But I love that people are not saying no to you, because why would they? I mean, you're very talented. You're you're the whole package. And I just can't wait to see where you go with this. I wish that I could have, like when you said freshman in college, oh my gosh, how different my life would be, I think, if I had heard about something like this then. So I can't wait to follow your journey. So that's my takeaway. What's yours?
My takeaway would be, if you set your mind to something, do it. Like, I don't know where I'll be next year. I don't know what I'm going to be, but I know I'll have my dog or dogs, because I'm getting one of the puppies and I'm really excited.
Oh, so excited.
But like if you find your people, you find your training tribe. I am so grateful for like you guys, and meeting Robin, having Robin be like, hey, actually, this is what you're doing with your future. I already have your next 6 months to 2 years planned out.
Like her. Okay, she has your next 10 years planned out, not just 2 months or 6 months.
This is true.
That's how she works.
Yeah. And she was like that, like the very first Zoom call we had. She was like, I know what you're doing. Come here. I'm like, oh, wait. But yeah, so yeah, find your people, find your passion, do things that are new and interesting. Like, conservation dogs have been around for maybe 20, 30 years, like starting to grow in popularity. But yeah, more conversations need to be happening. And dogs are so amazing and such valuable tools, and cultivating their talents to help make a difference with something like conservation work is going to be really important, especially as species start to decline more for many reasons. So yeah, find your thing, find your people.
Yeah. And I'm so thankful that we've all crossed paths, because it's been a really cool journey. One more thing I do want to add, because I can't help myself. What I also love is that you have a desire to make sure that the dogs are safe, because they have obedience. And so that's something that I think so many people are afraid of. And you do such a great job of having a strong relationship, a strong bond, and that obedience it's just a really beautiful thing to watch. So I can't wait to see how you're going to use that and teach others that skill as well.
So,
all right.
probably have a couple things coming up. I do want to mention, I think this is going to go live in a couple weeks. I have a webinar, if you guys are interested, Fenzi Dog Sports Academy on the webinar airs on the 14th of December on containers and false alerts. So it's going to be a deep dive on false alerts on containers. And you can sign up for my online classes until December 15th, and then you are out of luck after that. So just want to make sure that you don't miss out. How about you, Crystal? Anything coming up?
Oh, I'm going to try to take a nap.
That works.
That's my goal, is to get rest. Well, thank you both so much for spending your evening. And Robin's not here to get us out of here. All right, I guess it's my job.
Yeah,
So
it's your
thank you
job
all.
because I'm not allowed.
So, what does she always say? From all of us here at Canine Detection Collaborative, go train.
Canine Detection Collaborative! We appreciate the time you spend with us. If you liked this episode, not only should you follow us so you don't miss the next one, but please also rate and review us in your favorite podcast app. For info on collaborating with us, go to k9detectioncollaborative.com. That's K9detectioncollaborative.com, where you can find our socials and pick up our latest monthly freebie. Join us again to talk training in the next episode.